I think the rules should change constantly with the super speedway.
What the 19 is doing is wildly impressive.
I'm reluctant to say, yeah, Blaney's out of it and Logano is out of it.
Brittany Logano will whoop my ass if I say that.
Yeah, they're never out of it. Apparently, I'm going to
run.
run full speed and run into at the same time. So
Keep your eyes forward, Kevin.
Keeping our eyes forward to Martinsville.
welcome to Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox. I'm Kevin Harvick. She's Caitlin Vinci, and he's the one and only Mamba Smith.
He's already trying to get me spun out before we even got going. He acted like I had something on my face. Yes.
I was just itching my nose, and she started itching her nose. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, trying to play games already.
Listen, we have nothing but time today. You know,
we do.
We have a full slate, so
full slate.
Might as well start off right.
Mm-hmm. I like that we have these fall colors.
Yeah,
going on.
I didn't get the memo.
You're close. Teal is. I mean, but I will say. You didn't get the fall memo, but the way your fit is put together, the laces match the top, the
socks match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a hard. As long as you keep it to simple colors.
Simple.
Yeah.
There you go. The
keep
neutral
everything
palette.
in line. Yeah, neutral palettes.
Looks
I didn't
good.
even have to ask anybody this morning.
Well, it's because you're learning, Kevin.
Yes, I'm a slow learner.
Yeah, but it's working.
It is, I guess.
I mean, at least Elena, I'm sure it's better for her. She only has to put 2 people together instead of 3 people together.
Yeah, we're back to school this week, so.
Are we?
Yeah, had fall break last week, so the kids were home all week.
How was that?
I was excited. That we got back to school this morning. Yeah,
I know that feeling. Yes. It was a big weekend for your family, though.
It was. Yeah, we went to North Wilkesboro this weekend, and I raced not long. Had a little engine failure with about 20 laps into the race, but other than that, I got to go sit up on top of the truck and watch Keelan have a great race with Luke Baldwin there towards the end of the race, and Landon and Connor Hall racing for the late model stock championship. That was intense. So great weekend all around for the Cars Tour in general, with 2 great finishes, and hopefully capped off. Well, we did cap off another year, but hopefully leading up to another season. So it was a fun weekend.
It was those 2 kids were racing super hard.
Yes, they were.
Front. And I don't know, I just really love watching that because you can see the racecraft in them both. And a lot of times when we watch younger drivers, even older drivers, it's at the short track level right now, it's weird how people race sometimes, and to watch that type of craft and the couth and the car control for both of them and not running each other completely over.
It was interesting though, because the first time Keelan drove in there and tried to drive in there hard, he kind of hit Luke right in the door.
Yep.
And the next few times it was like, all right, here's a whole car link.
And
then it was, okay, I hit him in the door. Now I've given him too much room. Now I'm going to slide up there, and the finesse got a little bit better. But when you're able to race against people that race well,
and you can trust them,
and it's not just going to be some surprise hack move here, hack move there from both of them. It puts on good finishes, and so they've raced against each other a couple times. And the part that I like about last weekend for Keelan in particular is he gets to race against somebody like Luke, who has a ton of short track experience. Obviously, the Smart Tour modified champion. He won the championship on Saturday in the Smart Modified Tour. So, Luke's he's a good little short track racer.
I want to see Luke Baldwin at the next level. He's got something. He has the it factor, and and seeing Tommy around the racetrack's always good
that
too.
That is always a plus.
Yes, for sure.
Some good talent coming through the pipeline. I saw your wife posted a cool picture of Keelan sitting with you in, I think, a media center years ago. Yeah. Like she did 2 pictures back to back. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's weird when they asked me to come to the media center now for the first time that happened. Obviously at North Wilkesboro, things are a little bit different because you got enough media there to actually have a press conference.
Have a scrum.
And I'm standing up in Victory Lane, just walking around, just trying to stay out of the way. And they're like, hey, we need you in the media center. I'm like,
what?
For what?
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of dad, team owner, whatever you want to call it. We can position it as. And in Delano, I saw that picture she posted,
cute.
But he used to always go up there and do something silly, or I think he had a stack of hats on his head. that was in Michigan. We were up there up there by ourselves. We used to always like going to Michigan together because we had a golf course and we had a lake and
There's stuff to do.
Ice cream shop and a pizza parlor and all the things that we always like to do up there. But we always had a good time in Michigan. So we would go by ourselves for the most part and just have like a father-son weekend every year when we went to Michigan. Usually we went twice. So that was, I don't know if that was the particular weekend that we got the golf cart stuck under the tree. I think I've told that story on here. Yeah, but we definitely spent some time at the golf course, and one time was under the tree.
Well,
under the tree. That's so cool. The full circle moments. It's got to be neat for you. Okay, so guys, we have plenty to talk about leaving Talladega. Martinsville is up next. You have some good sips.
No,
really racy sips. I like
real racy sips.
Yep.
We're going back short track racing.
I love that. Okay, so we've got plenty to break down. How was Talladega, by the way? You were there.
I was there, yeah.
How was the energy?
Energy was high.
Huge.
Whiskey Myers put on a great show on Saturday night.
Is that a guy or a group?
It's
a group.
Okay.
They're big race fans.
Okay.
They played at Ryan Blaney's awards.
Yeah,
He won the championship.
They're
He picked
buddies
them.
with Ryan. They're also buddies with Rico Abreu on the dirt side. Like, they like racing. So, and the fans, man, I'm telling you what, they were rowdy.
Yeah.
I saw
like it.
They were rowdy. There was a lot of overalls being worn. A lot of it was a fun weekend.
Did I tell the
good.
story about my walk down the boulevard last year?
No.
Was this?
That's the first time I'd walked down the boulevard was last year.
Okay.
Well, actually, that was this year.
Yeah. Okay.
At Talladega. It was this year at Talladega. So I've ridden on the little float and done all the driver things that go down the boulevard. But we were like, all right, let's just ride over there and walk down the boulevard.
This was with the Fox group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
I think I told this story, but
I think I know about it.
Yeah.
But you go ahead.
Yeah,
so
go ahead, Kev.
we drive the golf cart over there and we park it on the side of the fence and we walk into the boulevard. And the first thing we see are 3 ladies that should not have their shirts off, just walking down the boulevard
just like another regular
like nothing
day.
was happening. You got people walking around in their underwear, costumes, normal. It's quite the interesting place.
Talladega
It
Boulevard.
truly is.
Did you spend some time on the boulevard?
Not remotely. I saw Whiskey Myers for a hot minute and then I bounced out. That place is like international waters. That's really what Talladega Boulevard is. They're like the rules there are just very different.
Yeah.
It's
Well, there
true.
really are no rules, it seems.
That's what it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why
anything
we love it.
goes.
Yeah.
in Talladega.
Which is why people fly from all over the place. I think there's some
Yeah.
folks in from Alaska that were there.
Yes.
Like Talladega for us is like is a spectacle. It's a must go to event. You got to experience. If you like racing at all, you should go check out Talladega just because it's a spectacle.
I wonder what it looks like today.
I've seen it on days like today.
Well, the Talladega social media used to post a funny series of photos the day after of all the weird things they found out in the infield. I don't know if they still do that, but it was always very entertaining.
Yeah, we did it when I did it. We did a video one year and like we went around and picked all the. I said I'll do it, but I would have to be in like a full hazmat. Like I was in a full gloves, boots. Like I was not touching stuff with my bare hands. But Talladega was fun.
Yeah.
You know who loves Talladega?
Who?
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jeff Gordon is
he
a
is
big
known to go to the
Talladega
boulevard.
fan.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big Talladega
true.
fan.
And there's some interesting competitions that take place at Talladega as
Wild
well.
ones.
You know,
Gotta
wrestling.
check it out in the spring, y'all.
Yeah, you guys got to go. Hopefully, we're selling this really well. Okay, as it comes to the race, did you feel like this was a traditional Talladega, or did it flow differently?
Well, I think it's been what we've seen, right? I think that if I would have turned it on with 25 laps to go out, I'd have been like, man, that was a badass race. But, I think that the fuel mileage and all the things that happen in the beginning of the races just make it different. And there were savings and not savings and people backing the pace up. But it's very at the end, it was very exciting to watch and very intense for the way that the race finishes. Now, I understand that there are moments that lead up to getting towards the finish, and the drivers all know how to get to the finish. As we watch the video clip here of Kyle Larson running out of gas at the end of the race, and that really broke that bottom line up and allowed Briscoe to get underneath Bubba Wallace right there with his teammate tucked in right behind him and Ty Gibbs, and they were able to get themselves organized and get to the start-finish line first. So just a great finish. I think that there's definitely some things that need to happen with super speedway racing that allow us to see what we saw at Daytona. I think a lot of that, if do we need another stage? What do we need to do to break up all the fuel mileage stuff, to have those lulls in the middle of the race, to get rid of those? I still don't like the fact that I think the rules should change constantly with the super speedway cars to keep the teams evolving, to keep the competition mixed up. I do think that the Fords lost a little bit of their advantage compared to the Chevys and the Toyotas this time around, which is, as we keep going with the same rules, things become more and more even. And then it becomes about strategy. And so I'm a big fan of keeping the rules mixed up at the super speedways. I still don't like the fact that you can push as hard as they can push and not get more rewarded for it. I don't know how we fix that problem of when the two cars get connected, that it's a bigger difference of speed than what it is right now. But the amount of time that they spend pushing and shoving to not have it be mixed up more isn't how it needs to be. Isn't how you want super speedway racing to be. You want to be able to go from the back to the front and not get, when they're all going, it's 2 lanes until they decide to fan out and try to, make those moves at the end of the race. But if those moves only last for a lap or two, when people are going and trying to get their final position, for the most part, it winds up double file, 2 lanes, and they're pushing like crazy and not able to get broken away from a lane. I just wish we could understand what we need to do to get those pushes to be more rewarding, to get more gain out of because you have to push really hard, which is why we see most of the wrecks, because even when we saw the 17 car of Chris Buescher get spun out, that didn't happen from the guy right behind him. That happened from the guy that was pushing the second car in line. And Byron was probably off the brake and on the brake pedal and off the gas, and the guy behind him and all the momentum from that line just shoved him forward. I mean, that should be a massive advantage to that line. So we've got to be able to figure out how to make the intensity of the pushes mean more with the speed gain in the cars that are happening, because they just get locked into that double file racing. But awful late to make a change when it's already end of October to get to the Daytona 500. So
So 2 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers now know that they will be going to the Championship 4. And it was neat to hear Chase Briscoe talking after the race about, doors that have closed in his career, the ones that have opened. And we all know Chase, and he's such a genuine person. And it's really neat to see this opportunity come together for him and to know he's going to race for a championship in the Cup Series.
Yeah. I mean, like when we sat here when the playoffs started, I said that I thought the most dangerous drivers were the 19 and the 23.
You were right.
He was 50% right.
I was 50% right.
Yeah.
Now the 23 was dangerous. They should have won Kansas, and they didn't, and whatever happened, whatever. But listen, the 19 has 7 top 10s and has an average finish of 5.62.
Look at him doing his notes.
Okay, they are
proud of him.
They have been throughout the playoffs. They have been head and shoulders above everyone with consistency, and he won. This is his second win in the playoffs. He finished second at Gateway. So, it's not like he could have already had his second win. So, they've been pushing. And then you look at the 24, who's a regular season champion. Throughout that same time, they only have 2 top 10s, an average finish of 16th.
Yeah.
So, when we talk about the playoff system and people are mad about whatever, Byron not being in it, yeah, they have done everything that they were supposed to do in the last couple weeks, because some things haven't worked out. The wreck at Vegas, and then kind of getting spit out of line here, come to the line. But ultimately, where they're finishing, it's just not up to snuff. That's not what they've been all year, and it's not very good in the playoffs. And this is why the playoffs are cool, is because when you get to this time of the season, it all really, really matters. And who locks in, and it takes luck, right? It's hard to win these things. But what the 19 is doing is wildly impressive.
Yeah, and when I interviewed Chase in our winners interview earlier, the part that intrigues me is how he started to where he is, and being able to evolve with that mindset that, going from surviving, knowing that if I don't make this work, I'm not going to get another job again, to I'm a winner now, to now I'm a consistent top 5 contender and can win every week. That mindset, that evolution and growth that they've had through the year is pretty impressive. And I think that now it's going to evolve. Whether they win or lose this championship at Phoenix, they're going to get that experience. They're going to have a full evolution of experiencing all the different levels of pressure and evolution as a team and people. When they get to the Daytona 500 next year, I don't see James letting up on Chase, and I don't see Chase, pushing back to say, "Hey, I'm not doing this," and changing his work ethic, because that's what's got them to this point, is the evolution of their relationship on and off the racetrack, what works, what doesn't work in the car. They've cycled through all that stuff, and now they're consistent winners and contenders on a week to week basis. And that's quite the difference in mindset from, I hope I can keep my job, and if I don't, I'm not going to get another job, to thinking I'm a championship contender.
He also won with Johnny Morris
there. Yeah.
Listen, y'all. The difference when you win, it's huge anyway, and you get the phone call from the sponsors and everyone's happy. But when you win and the sponsor is there, because it's so hard to win and so far and few in between, that you get to do that with everyone there, you really solidify your situation, I feel like, with a brand.
Well, think about this, and Chase told me this earlier. He said the last time Johnny Morris was in victory lane at Talladega was with Dale Earnhardt Sr.
To have him there and just see how excited he was telling us that it's one of the greatest days in his company's history. And I didn't even realize he told me he had not been in victory lane at Talladega since with Dale Earnhardt. So that was really, really cool just to see how excited and jacked up he was. And then, it was our third win of the year, so I got to do some 3 for Dales with Johnny in victory lane at Talladega. It was a perfect day.
25 years ago?
Okay.
Yeah. Those emotions and memories for Johnny Morris at Talladega, flashing the threes in victory lane for their third win of the season.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
That is something that usually locks in a sponsor for a long time. When they have those memories and remember the joy and excitement that they got out of it with one of their good friends, and now their brand is on a car. They obviously believe in NASCAR racing, but when you look at Johnny Morris in the past, it's Talladega and Bristol that seemed to be the most important races for that brand, and having them in victory lane, that's good for the longevity of the partnership.
Yes.
Did
a little
good
more
job.
security there.
Yeah.
Picked a good one to win, Chase.
Yeah, for sure.
Big moment for Chase Briscoe. So he was happy leaving Talladega. Pretty much every other driver they interviewed seemed rather dejected. And I want to start with the Penske guys, because both Joey and Ryan seemed to express they were surprised they weren't getting more help. And we had talked the week before about how well the Fords typically work together. What do you think was missing for that piece?
Yeah, and I don't think that I think that everybody knows if they put them in a position to win, they're going to win. And if they can keep them shuffled and put them in the middle of the field, that's going to make the odds of them having that track position and being able to have that work out for them. I mean, guys know when you have the dominant car, and they're not, let's face it, they're not Dale Earnhardt Jr., right? Or Dale Earnhardt Sr. People don't want to see them win and don't want to be a part of their win. And when you get to a point of being dominant, the competitors want to put you in a bad spot, and they got shuffled and put themselves in the middle of the pack, and that was it. And as we talked, I think that might be it for those guys. I think that I felt like one of them needed to win this race to get themselves to have a chance to go forward. They didn't capitalize on that. They didn't. One of those cars didn't get to victory lane, and I think that could be the end of their championship run.
Yeah, it seemed like they had a good plan, the team Penske as a whole. One of the other two, Cindric and Barry, was going to kind of stick with the 12. One was going to stick with the 22. It kind of seemed like that was where all their help was coming. And then Barry got an issue with the rear end. Seemed like maybe a rear end burned up a little bit on him. And then Cindric got caught in a wreck.
Yeah.
So those were the two. So they lost their wingmen.
Guaranteed wingmen.
Their guaranteed wingmen. And now it's like, all right, how do we reshuffle this? Because, of course, RFK and Front Row want to help the Blue Ovals as a whole. but like
They also
Trying to
have
make their
they
year.
need
Yeah,
to
they
make
have their
a
own
win
agendas.
changes their whole perspective of
Mhm.
their year, and I don't fault them. And then you look at the other OEMs, they definitely don't want them in,
Yeah.
right? So it's like if you're behind one of those guys,
You're like,
don't help if it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
If it doesn't help
Mhm.
one of us, because and you look at it, right? They get to Phoenix and they've been inevitable at Phoenix in the championship race. So to Kevin's point, if you can keep them out, you're gonna
You're
keep them
gonna.
out, and that's just
Yeah.
that's what happens when you've been dominant.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that it just doesn't feel the same this year
No,
as far as like even at Vegas, right? Like when you look at the 12 car and the 22 car, it just doesn't feel like they made the jump, and the 12 was going to be good.
mhm.
I mean, but he wasn't going to be dominant.
Yeah.
I just think that the dominant cars speed wise are the Gibbs cars
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
and that's been the case at most of the places that we've been, except for Loudon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
Joey kind of eloquently said he didn't have the car either. Like,
Yeah.
besides the strategy not working, he didn't really have the car. I want to go to the Hendrick Motorsports guys for a moment. Chase Elliott now 62 points below the line, got caught up in an early incident. Definitely in a must win.
Yeah, and I think everybody. I really think that the two guys that have won, obviously, are in a good spot. But I think that really the four guys that are out and the two guys that are in, all have to race like they're in a must win, because it's like you said earlier before we started the show. You've got Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell 1 point apart,
That's it.
so they can race each other. So you got two different agendas, right? Like you know if you're behind Christopher Bell and you're Kyle Larson, that you might be the guy out, because you have to assume that one of those other four guys that are not in it are going to have a chance to win.
Mhm.
Chase Elliott's definitely in a must win. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano.
They're
and-
all. I mean,
They-
they're
all of them
they're
have won there in the
36.
past,
That's 30.
too.
Yeah.
So-
That's the crazy part, because they've all won there in the
Yeah.
past.
This is the way that this is shaped up, honestly, is cinematic.
Intriguing.
It's so great, because so you look at the two guys in. Denny has the most wins of this season, right? So you'd want someone like that to be in. Chase has the most top fives. That's consistently in speed, and he has the most poles. So he's in. And then you got Bell, who I think he has the most top tens, and then Larson has the most led laps, right? So that's your current top four. The guys outside of that, there's three for sure that I feel like could win. Joey, it's going to take a lot. I just don't think that they've had the raw speed.
Yeah.
And especially at Martinsville, I haven't really seen over the last couple of years.
It's been a while. 2018 is the last time he won.
But Blaney, Chase, and Byron,
Yeah.
like it's been every year they've been right up
Yeah.
front in the mix, and they went toe to toe with it to duke it out last year. So if I'm Larson and Bell's teams, I'm like, look, we are racing the 20.
Yeah.
So is that
Whichever one of those two is lower, that's the one getting knocked out.
Yeah, and the unique part is, and we've had this happen a few times this year, you got a little bit different left side tire.
Mhm.
And that always seems to throw, hey, this is who's going to do it. Here's who's got the advantage, because you have this little piece of the puzzle that could change everything,
Yeah.
right? And so to me, that's the piece that you're reluctant. I'm reluctant to say, yeah, Blaney's out of it and Logano is out of it because of Loudon.
Yeah.
And, the fact that they put together such a great weekend up there. So I don't know. I mean, I want to say that Blaney and Logano are out of it, but I know better than to say they're out of it.
Brittany Logano will whoop my ass if I say that they're
they're never out of
They're
it,
not.
and really nobody's ever out of it because of the quality of competition and the quality of teams and cars, the level that they race at in the playoffs, from preparation and everything that goes with it. So, I think that any of them could win. They've obviously done that there before, but I think they all have to race to win.
Yeah, and the agendas are going to be interesting. The lights have never been
Oh,
brighter
here we go. There's
than
the
they
lights
are right now,
analogy.
and
Yes.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it unfolds. I still want to hit some things from Talladega.
Yeah, do it.
Denny Hamlin expressing some frustration about their cars because they had a throttle
Worries me.
issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to ask. I mean, how concerning is that because you also want to have momentum too going to Phoenix.
Yeah, and they've had this throttle problem a few times, and when you look at it, I think that's where the frustration from Denny came from on the radio, was the fact that they've dealt with that particular issue. But you've talked about some other mechanical issues that go with that car, and we've seen the brake issues that 2311 has had. We see the brake issues that Christopher Bell had there with the rotor. So the mechanical issues are just, there's been a lot of them, and I think that was where the frustration has come with Denny in the power steering that he had at Kansas, and all the things that have come with those really fast cars. They've had some gremlins that go along with that, but that one seems to have been multiple times that it's happened.
Interesting. It's only the 11 that, like, the other ones seem to be pretty sound with their week to week. The cars are, I'm not going to say prepared, because I don't want to make it sound like the guys back at the shop aren't preparing the car correctly, because obviously it's coming to track fast. I just don't know why it's.
Well, I think fast is different than mechanically sound.
That's true. That's fair. You'd think the processes would be almost the same, but obviously there's something different that is going on, and I'm sure they want to figure that out this week for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing it on purpose. I think that it could be a coincidence, but it seems to be somewhat consistent with that car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He says, "Why can't we keep our cars together?" was the quote from Denny.
Yeah.
What about Kyle Larson running out of fuel at the very end? We typically don't see something like that out of the 5 group.
Well, we saw a lot of cars pit. I think that the 12 and the 22, when that caution came out, they timed it to get the track position and didn't time it to not get to the end.
Yeah.
And they timed it for the track position, and it put them in a position where they had to pit. So obviously the 5 was close.
Yeah, I mean, without that
Yeah.
last caution with the 17, he's probably making it.
Yeah.
Right. So and I think Cliff even said that Kyle kind of talked about that in his post race. Like they knew they were close.
Yes.
They thought that once they flipped the switch, they were gonna be right there, and it just came up a little short. But good on him for realizing
Just
that
backing down,
and
yeah.
just like getting completely out of the way. Now it screwed the 24 regardless.
It did.
And it really opened it up to where it was Chase Briscoe's, because he had Gibbs behind him pushing.
Yep, teammate.
And you had Bubba Wallace, another Toyota on the outside, and then 24 got spit out, and it just started.
Yeah.
Everything was over there.
Yeah, my pick got spit out with 100 yards to go.
100 yards to go.
We don't want to address the picks just yet.
Listen,
that's a little later.
Even though that was your pick, he's my champ pick, and
Yeah.
so that I need
Yeah.
We're in the spot now.
Still,
You guys got to win.
We got it. Yes, we do.
ours are still alive technically.
Yeah.
Bell and Larson.
We're
still
better
in.
than him.
We're above.
Yeah, one of you guys is making it
Yep. Okay.
for sure.
So SVG always in the news for something, and fortunately, it wasn't a mistake he made. He had an incident coming to pit road, hit the water just right, and that could have been way worse than it was. So
Yeah, the fact that he was able to spin out like this and nobody else wrecked
Yeah.
was pretty spectacular. You see him go through the middle of all those cars and wind up stuck in the grass, and that water on the apron, obviously it's not ideal, but that is pretty much normal at Talladega. It always has those weepers in the cracks, and he just caught that seam exactly on. They had a great shot of it exactly in that seam where the water was running out of it, and lost control of the back of the car. It snapped around quick, and you're already edgy right there with locking up the rear tires.
Yeah.
Coming onto pit road, and he got in there pretty hot, and it just snapped around on him. But the fact that nobody else crashed right there was pretty lucky.
and he's still the top 15 at Talladega, by the way.
It
for
poured.
Mr. SVG.
It poured the night before,
Yeah.
and they were drying the track leading up, pre-race got pushed back. So the fact that was the only incident that we really had with that is lucky. I thought he was just gonna. I'm watching it, and I'm is he just gonna drift this thing all the way down pit road? It seemed like it was gonna kind of catch back straight, and then the 24 and there's the 24, the 20, and the 5 were all being touched.
Yeah.
by the 88 Wallace side.
I thought he was going
Yeah.
to bounce off the back of the 20 and straighten back out,
Yeah.
but it just kept going.
Insane.
Exciting moments. Another one happened in stage 1 when Eric Jones was attempting to push the 4, and this caused a pretty big pileup and a scary situation it appeared for AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah, and when you look at the situation of this particular incident, I think it's like the other ones. It's coming from the car, the third
Behind.
car in
Yeah.
line, and when Eric got to the back bumper of AJ, it just wasn't square. And with those Chevys and Toyotas, if you're not square, it's gonna spin them out with that much momentum. I think the Fords are really the only ones that you can get away with not really hitting them square. You can still do the exact same thing with the way that those front bumpers are shaped. But when those Toyotas and Chevrolets bump draft each other, it's very, very delicate as to, being off center like that and spitting the guy out and spinning them out. So AJ took a big shot. We saw him on fire there, and apparently it had the breath knocked out of him.
Yep.
And he was on the ground because he couldn't stay in the car because it was full of smoke while he's
Yeah.
trying to catch his breath. I'm sure most people have had the wind knocked out of them before, and when
Not
you're trying
you.
to do that,
Not you.
well, not
apparently.
in the car. I don't remember ever having the breath knocked out of me.
Can
in
you
the car.
imagine
Kevin's just a machine.
getting the breath knocked out of you and then trying to get it back while you're inhaling smoke? Like,
Yeah.
Sounds like a
like
disaster.
panic in my mind would come in because you can't breathe and I got to think about unstrapping to get out.
Yeah.
Has that happened? Have you gotten knocked out?
Not in a race car. I've gotten knocked out in other situations.
Oh.
But
Have you been knocked out from a punch?
No, it was from a lacrosse ball.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
hurt. That one hurt great.
I only know of one time that I've been knocked out in my life.
How'd it happen?
Well, my sister and I were playing tag in the front yard, and I looked back to see where she was and ran into the tree.
I was going to say mine.
That's the only time I ever remember being knocked out.
I fell out of a treehouse.
Oh, you fell out?
On my back, and that knocked me out good
Yeah.
for a second. Yeah.
You fell
Yeah.
out of a
Scary.
treehouse?
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But that's how I got this scar on my head too.
I was gonna
It was
ask.
tag inside.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
That wasn't from the tree. This was from same situation, hitting the door jam.
Oh, wow.
So you're
Yeah.
not gonna tag.
No, apparently.
So the moral of the
Apparently,
story
I'm going to
is-
run full speed and run into shit at the same time. So,
Keep your eyes forward, Kevin.
Eyes forward.
Yeah, eyes
We're,
forward.
Yeah.
we're keeping our eyes forward to Martinsville. That's where we're
Look
headed
at that
next.
segue.
You know, man, I'm
She's a
Producer said it
professional.
was incredible. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
What's the intensity like for everybody this week leading up to this? Just
well, your whole season's on the line. If you're one of those
Right.
guys that hasn't won a race, if you're not Chase Briscoe or Denny Hamlin, your whole season comes down to this to still have a chance. It's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of pressure. I would rather be in the 4 guys below the cut line than the 2 guys above the cut line
Mm-hmm.
because you only have one way in, so you only have to think about one way. Those other 2 guys have to think about winning, protecting points, racing one car, all the things that come with that last point spot. If they're not one of those guys that's in contention to win, so that just makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
I think that you can talk about they'll tell you that I'm just going there to win, but in the end you're going to go there to try to beat Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson.
Yep.
If you're one of those 2 guys, you got to have 2 different agendas. But it's as much pressure as you could ever put on one human being in sports in this type of situation. So it's great if you're Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin because you're just checking the box to get ready for biggest weekend of the year in Phoenix. But it's a lot of pressure.
And you've been in that situation, obviously being on a team at this
Yeah.
point in the year. It's a lot on the whole group.
Yeah, I mean, you are the focus. We talked about when the playoffs started. Like you're laser focused when the playoffs start, but when you're in this situation, you're almost like not speaking. Like at the shop, like you just know what your job is. Everyone's just like locked into doing their job. It's not like we're not talking to each other because we're mad at each other. It's just like you're just like. You're kind of
Is it
anxious.
unspoken
Yeah,
rule?
you're
It's
anxious
just-
because you're like you don't know how you hope that you're bringing the fastest piece for your driver to get the job done.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. Are we fast? Because if we're not fast, now we're in really big trouble because we don't have the tools and the time to fix it. So now it's going to come into, all right, what kind of strategy can Rodney on the box get us to get out of this situation? Can the pit crew nail every pit stop like it's a money stop? And like, can we flip it somehow to get close enough to give Kevin an opportunity to do what he needs to do to get us in? So like, it all starts at the shop, and the pressure is like, you can cut it with a butter knife when you walk in the shops. And I'm interested to see with the 11 and the 19, like, you guys can be focused on Phoenix, obviously, but if you bring a fast car to Martinsville, you can definitely affect the outcome and who you're racing against. So how much are you know what I mean? Like,
no enemies. Just don't make any enemies. That's all you don't want for Phoenix, right? Like, ask Denny Hamlin. Look at he and Chase Elliott, right? I mean, Chase settled the score at Phoenix. So you just don't want to leave Martinsville with any enemies. But it also puts the drivers in a position to where you have to do things that you don't want to do, right? We saw it with Ross at the Roval. You know, he had to do what he had to do and tried to, you know, knock Denny Hamlin out of the way. I've done it. You know, I had to knock Kyle Busch out of the way and you know, spun him out and wound up spinning myself out and not getting by him when you need 1 point. So sometimes you got to sacrifice the guy in front of you doing something dumb in order to try to get in.
Yeah.
And that's just a position that it puts you in as a driver to do something that is totally outside of your character, totally something that you don't want to do. But you know, if you don't do it,
it's over.
You're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
And you got to do things that are uncomfortable sometimes, that are just way out of character in order to put yourself into having a chance to get into the playoffs and suffer the consequences later.
From my observations covering your Cup career, it seemed like you really thrived, though, in these situations.
I think we were always pretty good at these pressure-packed situations of being able to get everybody in the right mindset and knowing that how to be able to focus in on getting everything out of every lap. And when I say every lap, I mean every lap. Once that car hits the track, it's one lap of practice at a time. Go execute in qualifying, get the car onto pit road, and, you know, do everything that you can do to minimize the loss and maximize the gain. And it's there's nothing better than being in these positions when it works. And even when it doesn't work, I mean, that intensity that goes with these types of moments from a driver's standpoint is exhilarating.
I know that they're talking about changing the point system and people want 30, all this stuff. I get it. But those conversations, that what he just said, like that, you don't get that without some type of playoff format. And it just, as a competitor, there is nothing better than competing in these situations. Like I just think that is the purity of sports as a whole. And I absolutely love that. And I love being in those pressure cooking moments.
I got to look up these points.
Yeah,
that's why I got my phone out here. If we had the old Winston Cup point standing, it would be Christopher Bell over Chase Briscoe by 17.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have either.
Kyle Larson would be 209 points behind.
So, and then there's another system that I saw where it's like, if it was just this points format, how you get points, but season long, it was a completely different
conversation.
It was like 4 guys in it and they were completely different. So like, I'm not against a full thing.
So is it better to, I mean, if 2 guys make it all the way to the end of the season and we had 2 guys racing for the championship, that when we got to Phoenix off of the traditional year, would that be okay in your world?
I don't care.
I mean, that's what I'm asking. Is a championship race between 2 guys as good as it is against 4 guys? Knowing that it comes down to the last race and you got to do this?
This is why I don't like it. If all you have to do is show up and run 15th, I don't think that's very good. Because these guys are great. They're going to run 15th. Yeah. Like the 24 has had an awful playoff run and he's averaging 16th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I don't want.
It is a complex situation.
Yeah.
It's not a very clear answer.
I love these moments. It's not a game 7 moment that I care about. It's just being in that constant pressure and having to perform. Yeah. That's the part that I love. So if it's a 3 race end of the year to the championship, I love that because the pressure.
So what about a guy that wins on week 10 and then just kind of cashes it in until the playoffs start?
Who does that?
Well, I mean,
you can't win. Who does that?
I mean, there's a lot of times we see guys win, and then the next thing you know, they're just kind of not there. I think there's a lot of guys that win, and then you don't see them until the playoffs start. Now they're not going to win a championship.
Well, that's kind of my point. Is like anyone who's
But with the not having the playoff system like we have it, would it make everybody more honed in the whole year?
No, I don't think so, because a lot of guys are going to be out of the playoffs by week 10.
Yeah.
Another section are going to be out of it by week 25. And you're going to, by 10 races to go, I think you'd only have maybe 5 to 6, 7 that are mathematically in, but are not really in.
You know what I love?
What's that?
That I don't have to make this
Yeah,
decision.
no kidding.
Because you're going to have 50% of them hate you one way or the other.
It don't matter. It just
50% are going to hate you one way or the other.
We've learned that. They
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I know.
This year we have learned.
Yeah.
I know.
So we have to make our predictions, though.
What are we predicting?
What we believe the Champ 4 will look like.
Ooh.
So we know 2 of them. So who else is going?
Yeah.
My Champ 4 has been blown up once Denny won Vegas because I didn't have him in.
I know, but you can still say who you think is.
Yeah. Well,
did I have him in?
yeah.
I thought you did. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So Briscoe and Denny are going to be there.
Right.
I think that Blaney and Bell also will be.
So you're saying, okay, what do you got?
I don't think it changes.
You don't think it changes?
I think the 4 we have go.
Well, but I picked Larson, so I guess I have to. I guess I have to
No,
commit to that.
I wasn't going to correct you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think someone from the bottom 4 is going to win. Listen and make it in. And my pick for the championship is William Byron. So that's what I'm going with. If William would have won Talladega, I would have said Blaney would be the one in. Right? Like, so for my pick's sake, I'm going with Byron. But in my brain, if he was already in, I would say that Blaney would be the one winning Martinsville.
So it's a small thought, is what you're saying.
It's a small thought.
You said it was in your brain, so I figured it had to be a small.
It's not a very big
it had to be a small thought.
Very small thoughts at a time.
Yeah.
That was kind of where my brain was at, but because I have to remain loyal to my original pick, I have to say it would stay the same then.
I mean, Kevin can give you an olive branch, and you can.
I mean, we let him cheat once, so
it wasn't cheating. It was just using all the resources. Using all the resources. Who do you got? You said it's not changing.
Not
I think
anymore.
it's the same 4.
Okay.
I think the 4 that are in right now stay in. I think it's Larson, Bell, Briscoe, and Hamlin.
Well, you're just going to have to watch on Sunday to find out. It's going to be very exciting out at the paperclip.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
It's your turn.
What do you mean it's my turn?
I've been carrying this whole thing. You're up.
Yeah.
Caitlin
Do something today.
Caitlin says my back is hurting. I've been carrying the whole show. Hey, listen, friends, family, closers from all over the world. Welcome to Mamba's Social Sips.
Are we worldly?
Huh?
Are we worldly?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're coast to coast. Every sea, all of it.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna start. I told you we're going short track racing.
You ever wonder what you sound like in like Japanese or something?
I don't think
Do they translate us?
No, I don't think they translate it like that. They could with AI.
Okay.
Oh.
But I don't think they do that. I think it's.
I would think that the like Japanese and any other country would, not just them, any other country would probably think that you're weird.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Listen, if you want to be number 1, you got to be a little odd.
You are definitely unique to your own.
You got to be odd if you're going to be
Was
number
that the
1.
word I was looking for? Was unique?
Unique, I think so.
I think she got you there.
Okay.
We're going
Sorry.
dirt track racing. My buddy, Rico Abreu, won the High Limits Championship. I think there was actually 2 races this weekend, and I'm pretty sure he swept them. Won a bunch of money. And that series is super cool, what they've been doing, putting it together. There's a great picture of him, Megan, and Gus, their dog, and Victory Lane. But the real picture I wanted to show you guys is this trophy that he won in Texas. Look at this
cool.
thing.
Wow.
Look at that longhorn.
Big longhorn, yeah.
That thing is huge.
That's funny.
Is that might be one of the coolest trophies that you could win.
Yeah. That is definitely very unique.
He's
Yes,
stuck on that
very
unique word.
unique.
I want to give a shout out to Brad Sweet.
I called you weird. She said unique.
That's fair. I want to give a shout out to Brad Sweet because Brad is retiring from full-time racing competition.
Yep.
There was a really cool, a really heartfelt speech that he had on the High Limits socials. I
wonder how much that has to do with owning the series.
I would think that it's to the
Valid
point where to
question.
make it grow, like he probably feels like he needs to be more involved with the business side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I haven't had any conversation with him, but in my brain,
It's a
I'm-
massive undertaking.
a
I've
lot of
learned.
work doing both.
Yeah.
I mean, you run a, I mean, you
Oh,
proto a series.
it's to do it the way that they do it. I can't. I mean, we put a lot of work into the Cars Tour stuff. I can't. I mean, they race way more than we do. So the workload that goes with that is extremely high.
Yeah, and way more places, like how they travel and the
Yeah.
whole thing. So
Good for Brad Sweet though. He's had a really impressive career.
yeah, one of the he's such a nice
He's
guy.
synonymous with
he's
that
a
series.
great guy.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
a fun guy. So good for him, and good for Rico and that whole group. Cars Tour, staying in the short tracks. The championships have been completed. There was a great picture of the drivers and the owners. And this is the end of the late model stock race. So we have Landon S. Huffman, who is Shane Huffman's son. Shane Huffman is the crew chief for Butterbean a lot of the time in the ARCA series, and Caden Quapple driving for JRM. Kevin, we talked about Keelan and Luke Baldwin duking it out. I felt like this was just as good.
Absolutely. We were really fortunate to have two really good finishes to our late model races this weekend at North Wilkesboro. So yeah, I had to think about it there. Where have I been? I don't know. I'm thinking about where I'm going. But I think when you look at the finishes, I mean, that's what we see. Half the races all year are great finishes like that, and you see two guys battling for their first win with Huffman and Quapple, and you know, the unique part about Caden and his situation is dad's crew chief,
Yep.
and Travis Quapple, his dad, Truck Series winner, longtime
Champion,
racing
yep.
family. To see him, I mean, he works his freaking guts out, and both of those kids work their guts out as well, Carson and Caden. So to see them win, and then you have the Huffman family,
Oh,
long
them.
tradition
Shane.
of racing in their family. So both of those kids did a great job. Obviously, Landon came out a little bit short
yep.
on the victory, but led most of the race, did a great job, qualified on the pole. So a great way to end the Cars Tour season with two great races in our pro late model division and late model stocks.
Yeah, and we actually got the picture of the champions.
Mhm.
I thought this was great. The car owners and their drivers, super cool to see that. I think Delena's, the
That's
KHI owner, the real owner, is right in the middle there next to Landon Lewis, who won the late model stock championship. And then on the far right, you have Rick Ware, who won. That's Luke. It is Luke.
Luke,
right?
yeah.
It's Luke Baldwin that's standing there with him, but they won the owners championship in the pro. And then Ben Mayer, right?
Ben Mayer.
He won the driver championship in the pro.
Yeah, another
So-
long racing family tradition with the Setzers that
Yes.
build his cars. So that's part of the conversation that I had with a few people this weekend at the racetrack. You look at the Setzers and you look at the Huffmans and you look at the Quapples and our family and the Earnhardts and their family. I mean, it's just racing is a cycle of generation of people and families. And so when you get into this part of the country, in particular, when you look at the generations of racing families, you could go in that garage and find multiple stories just like the ones that I just mentioned. So it's fun to see the different generations and commitment that families have made to auto racing and racing in general.
If this conversation doesn't make people want to watch Cars Tour and go to Cars Tour races, I don't know what to tell you, because
Support your local short
support-
tracks.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
For sure. And speaking of, since we're talking about that, I want to give a little shout out to Rick Ware and that group, because they have decided to do that. And I would love to see more Cup teams, more
Owners.
national series owners involved on different levels, whether it's just getting their drivers into a race or two or doing a full season, whatever it is. It all helps. It all matters a lot. So love that. Congratulations, champions. Hey, we got a mailbag this week.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Michael Tartaglia.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Good
Michael
job.
Tartaglia.
This is Italian.
Good job.
Yeah, it seems like, very.
Italiano.
Yeah, he's one of our Northeastern fans. He says, I'm one of your diehard Northeast fans and love hearing you analyze different tracks. He must be talking about me, not Kevin. In your opinion, what makes the perfect racetrack?
Well, that's a tough question because I think all racetracks go through an evolution. And when you go through that evolution, I just mean the surface being at a point where it's worn out enough. How do you, I would tell you this. I think back to old Bristol and we talk about how great it was for so many years, but it was really only one lane.
It was one lane.
And it was great for a different reason because in order to pass somebody, you had to move them. So the fans loved it.
Mm-hmm.
From a racer standpoint, you like New Bristol, right?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that you can run the bottom, you can run the middle, you can run the top. So that's a really delicate question to answer because of the fact that what makes it exciting compared to what makes it racy are two different things. And I think that you want a racetrack that is that's got a couple grooves, but doesn't take the spectacle out of it, of being able to not have to rub on somebody's door. It's like you look at North Wilkesboro. North Wilkesboro is going to keep getting better and better and better because it's not level. One straightaway's down, one's uphill. You go to the corners, they're kind of banked, but this ends over here, that ends over there. The exit of turn 4 has got a little more banking than the middle of the corner. It's funky, right? So a good racetrack is not perfect. A good racetrack has great asphalt, and it doesn't. You still have to be able to have a little door banging.
Yeah.
When like at North Wilkesboro, right? You got to lean on them in order to. They can make it super difficult if they want to, and you got to be able to lean on them a little bit and get some donuts on the right side of that thing in order to get by them. So drivers love racy racetracks, but I think that as we've evolved through time, we also know that a racy racetrack can only be one. To be exciting, it really can only be one groove. So you want to be able to race all over the racetrack, but the racetrack that only has one lane was also our most exciting for a long time. So I don't know that there's any right or wrong answer to this. I think you can have a great race at any given moment, but the short tracks, I think, are where the bread and butter is as far as, the size of the racetrack. So we've seen a lot of great races at Loudon. We've seen a lot of great races at Bristol. One's flat and one's banked.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I don't have a perfect answer. I'm sorry, Michael.
There's no perfect answer, but they're one of the perfect racetracks. Not the perfect, one of the. Thunder Road Speed Bowl.
Never been
in
there.
Barry, Vermont. You should go. You should go run a race up there. It's high bank, 24-degree banking, quarter mile. It's racy. You do got to.
Is that the one where you kiss the cow?
That's where you kiss the cow.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get you into the milk bowl. Listen, I would love to have you guys join me at a race at my home track. I grew up racing go-karts there. So, which was crazy because we're drafting.
On the big track?
On the big track. We were drafting like hell.
Oh.
So it's crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Mamba Sips.
There you go.
Thank you so much for engaging and being so great week in and week out. If you want to leave a voicemail, 805-317-4175. If you want a mailbag question, harvickhappyhour4@gmail.com.
There you have it. Okay, guys, it's time now for our last call.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. NASCAR is not responsible for this promotion and used under license.
So, Kevin, before we get into our picks for this week, let's take a look at the best bet of the weekend, courtesy of DraftKings.
Well, you definitely could have scored some money this weekend because Chase Briscoe was plus 2,500.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
2,500.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because he isn't good on speedways.
No, that was his first super speedway win. So if you bet on Chase Briscoe, you won some money. But take the checkered flag with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Harvick. That's code Harvick for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and win your first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
This guy, he had it on before you even finished the read.
Go, I got excited.
I have so many things to say, but I'm not
Go
going.
Charlotte FC. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's inflatable.
It is inflatable.
You could take that in the pool with you.
It'll keep you afloat.
Okay, so we didn't really get to see the burnout, but we're going to try and show our best version of it. What do we think about the Briscoe burnout, Kevin?
Well, I don't know what to think because they didn't even show this part that I remember. All I saw was the car parked against the wall with a pile of rubber. So
That
it had to be
was-
just a meltdown session as Chase did the burnout right there against the wall right at the start finish line. So not really in contention for anything at the top of our list. Obviously it was a big win and he melted the tires down and was excited after the
Man, look at
race.
that.
So
Yes,
pumped.
But hard to top some of the things that we've seen on the burnout list.
is
So
true.
Chase, you're gonna have to work on your burnout.
Yeah.
Chase, you're gonna just have to go win again.
So
Yeah.
we can
over
see
the
it.
next 2 weeks, so we can get you on the list.
So,
but-
Lil Gio had a good burnout in the truck series
Did
this
he?
weekend. Yeah, he did. Because I was the pit reporter, so I was in the truck.
Yeah.
You get to see it. It's like right in front of you
Yeah.
happening. He did a good job. Good out of him getting that win.
I think it's also kind of hard at the super speedways because the gearing, the way the way the cars are geared up, it takes a little bit more effort. I feel like to get
Finesse.
this thing going.
it.
Well, I think that hopefully we can see more of it next time.
Yes,
Listen,
please. We would like
Yeah.
to see more.
we love burnouts.
We would like to see some improvement in the points as well. I would. I mean, Kevin's still leading. No surprise there.
Let's
Take a look, sees. None of us got points though.
We all laid an egg,
But-
what we did.
I thought we had good selections. Kevin was with William Byron, Mamba, Ryan Priest, Ryan Blaney for me. You can see the standings here. Kevin is still leading.
Running out of races, guys.
Do I look concerned? She's in trouble. She has to win
Well-
the championship to come bring this thing home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About doubled
well,
up.
No.
The good news is we laid an egg, but not very many of the fans got it either.
No,
only
3%.
Only 3%
Really?
picked Briscoe this week. So
That's what it says.
They should honestly. They should have just bet. That 3% should have just gone to DraftKings and bet because they would have won some money if they really felt
Yeah.
that way.
You can submit your picks for Martinsville by scanning the QR code on your screen or the link in the description of the podcast. So we want everyone to join us for our Martinsville picks. So who wants to go first?
How's it been working?
It's always me starting because I'm in last.
Larry Loser has
okay.
to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going with Christopher Bell
Mm.
to win, but
Okay.
this still would mean the same four likely would be in.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I
Yeah.
did?
'Cause
I had
she's-
to.
Because she's nervous, but she
committed.
has to keep Larson
I have to
somehow.
keep-
This is a
And-
tough one
yeah.
because I'm telling you, any of these guys can win. But go ahead.
My championship pick from day one has been William Byron in the 24. I really thought that they would be in already at this point. They're not, but you know what? I know that group is hungry. They have something to prove.
There you go.
Stamp it. 24, victory lane. Getting it
Well,
done.
I'm gonna pull an asshole move right here.
You should.
It's not gonna be my championship 4 pick, but I'm as a defensive gesture,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick William Byron too, so you don't score any points.
Okay. You realize though.
No, it's all right.
Okay. Because you know that I'm gonna win the championship and then you're gonna lose anyway.
What do you mean?
Like when William Byron wins the
No, he's
championship.
not gonna win.
Okay.
He's got Christopher Bell winning.
Yeah.
the whole
I
time.
know who he has
Yeah.
winning. I'm just
I'm willing to sacrifice Kyle Larson
This is a
out of this-
sacrificial pick.
out of this championship 4 pick to just make sure that you lose.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. There
I
you
think
go.
I think America will agree with me when I say we need a race winning pick for Phoenix and you have your champ pick.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Because you don't have to win the race to win the championship.
Yeah, but that's
We're
not gonna
just making
happen.
champ picks,
I-
I bet,
I-
for
that's
That's
that
not gonna
week.
happen.
I'm just saying. Whatever.
Okay. Well, you're just going to have to watch and see how it all unfolds. This is
Defense, yeah.
this is getting very interesting. So we've talked a bit about your Thursday interview. You want to share with us more?
Yeah, we're gonna have our Cars Tour late model stock champion on, Landon Lewis, who actually drives the car for Delana and I at KHI.
For
So
Delana.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's why it says
Don't
Kevin
poke
Harvick
the bear.
Incorporated. But anyway, I think it's going to be fun. I know that he's probably super nervous, but that's the great part about
Aw.
all of these late model kids, putting them in an atmosphere that they're not used to get them the experience that they've earned, to be able to have an interview like this and have so many of our listeners be able to listen to it. So
Yeah.
Butterbean was great.
Yes, it was.
You know, we've had him on here before. So proud of Landon and everything he's done. So I'm looking forward to
That's
drilling him.
That'll be good.
Landon, when guys like Landon get opportunities because he doesn't come from a spot with a ton of money to get it done, that's what keeps people trying. When you see somebody like that get an opportunity, that's what keeps them pushing to try and make it too. And I think it's really important. I'm proud of him. He's done a really good job this year. He's a really nice kid.
Yes, he is.
And he's very helpful with everybody else that's around him, right? Kevin talks about the circle of life. He is fully bought into keeping that circle right.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was very impressed with him when I interviewed him for that Cars Tour race at North Wilkesboro. Just a good kid. And good by you also making opportunities and stuff for all these people and making a difference in their life.
Well, if it wasn't for who he is as a person, we would not race that car full time. That's the bottom line. The only reason that we raced that car full time was for him this year, right? Because he deserves an opportunity with who he is as a person and the things that he's done to help not only Keelan, but all the other legend kids that he's been around. And I mean, the kid delivers golf carts during the week. Out there pressure washing dirty golf carts and taking them to golf courses or picking up body parts or putting a body on a car. I mean, he can build the whole car. So it's rare that you see a kid like this come through our sport and be able to build the whole car himself and
rare,
have the work ethic that he has. You don't hear many of those stories. So to see him succeed is a lot of fun.
It'd be hard for him not to with the Hornet days around him. He's gonna have
Yeah.
you're gonna have to earn it all the way if you got
That's
the
right.
Hornet days in your
That's
corner.
exactly right.
Make sure you don't miss it. You can catch that on Thursday. Well, it's been fun. We only have a few to go. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review, leave 5 stars, send some mail to Mamba, and we'll see everybody after Martinsville.